We're talking about actual defining success, how we kind of navigate this new adulthood, and us constantly comparing ourselves to others. But what are some of the issues that you see coming up a lot?
There are 4 things that people look for when they want to feel more fulfilled.
What are some reframe tactics that we can use to kind of battle that imposter syndrome?
It's more, I'm scared I'm going to get found out. And I think the way to battle imposter syndrome is...
There's a lot to process.
What's an example? Asking for a just so that I can take some notes.
You can use Gemini and then use the storybook function. It creates these picture books for you.
Amazing. My wife is going to be like, super sick. How do we define that ultra self, like who we are as a
A
person?
lot of unfolding to new possibilities.
Yes.
Load it.
Unfold your story. Let's go.
Let it unfold. Real talk. Raw moments, zero fluff.
Welcome to Unfold Your Story, presented by Samsung, a brand new podcast where we dive into various topics from everything from wellness, creativity, to digital habits.
And making the most out of life to unlock your ultra self.
Since this is our first episode, I thought it'd be a good idea to have Gemini Live introduce us.
I might be short, so let me see if this actually works. Hey Gemini, who is Jaz Reyes?
Jaz Reyes is a Filipino radio DJ, events and TV host, and content creator. She is also the owner of a creative treats company called 11.11 and is known for her creative videos and digital content.
Surprising.
Wow, I didn't know that part of you.
Oh, and fair. Okay, cool. Your turn.
Nice. Who is Nico Bolzico?
Nico Bolzico is an Argentinian businessman and social media personality who's very popular in the Philippines. He's known for his funny posts and videos online, often featuring his wife, Erwan Heussaff, and their kids.
It's okay. Good enough.
It's okay. Okay.
Thank you, Gemini. That's good. Add that I have a steakhouse that is the best in the country.
You're known because you're using your wife for content.
You might be the same.
Hey Gemini, can you tell me about Erwan Heussaff?
Erwan Heussaff is a Filipino-French internet personality, content creator, and entrepreneur known for his food, travel, and lifestyle content. He is the founder of the digital media company FEATR and has been recognized with the James Beard Award for his work.
Wow.
He is married to actress Ann Curtis, and his sister is actress and model Solon Houston.
So you're using my wife also.
Why can't I live without being referenced?
So you're using your wife and my wife
I feel like
to be
that's
famous.
I have a problem with AI that it can't tell me who I am
Without
my nationality, like Filipino French, and without who I'm married to.
It's because you are nobody without your wife.
Oh, there we go.
That's it.
It's a painful truth.
It's a painful
It's
truth.
a painful truth. There's actually an exercise that they do that I find it actually really interesting. Introduce yourself to me without telling me your age, your nationality, and what you do for work.
I'm Nico Bolzico. I love sports and steak. What? This is the correct.
Actually, that works.
That works, that works.
Because I feel like our go-to is we always try to define ourselves through our work, right? I always say, hi, I'm Erwan, and I run a digital media company. Like, I feel like that says a lot about me, but it's also wrong in a sense that
Does
you
it?
need your career to kind of define
But
who
also
you are.
depends who you're talking to, right? I think it
Okay.
depends of your audience. If I talk to a girl, I talk about my wife. That's where I go, directly.
Oh, just
I'm
like
married, I have 2
honesty.
kids, and I talk about my wife and then my kids.
Okay.
So
no.
you're that weird old guy in the bar.
Yeah, like I don't wanna like other people to have a feeling
Yeah.
that I'm not married.
No, but that's the thing. I think that's also your passion because you feel so much for your kids, for your wife. I think that's also a question that we all want to get to as we grow older. Like, how do I describe myself? How am I living a happy life? How am I living a successful life?
Yeah, so today that's I think what we're trying to figure out is
Yeah.
how do we define kind of like that ultra self, like who we are as a
Yeah.
person. I personally de facto associate my career a lot with
Yeah.
who I am, which I know is problematic in a
Yeah.
sense, but I also am very conscious of that and I'm very balanced with my family life and stuff like that as well. But it is a crutch for me where I do look at my career kind of defining a huge part of my personality, which is something I think maybe we saw from our parents too. Like I know my dad defined himself 90%
Work.
with what he did. That was his personality. I'm consciously trying not to make work my personality. Nico's personality is Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
That's his
Yeah.
personality.
Actually, I'm.
The
my-
skill also.
No, it's like how good at sports you are. That was like the food chain growing up for me. Are you good at sports? You're in the top of the food chain, especially if it is football. So that's how I grew
Okay.
up. That's Argentina.
But I feel like our generation has a problem where we come from parents that are very kind of like professionally focused. And then you have Gen X after us, and we're Gen Y. And now comes Gen Z, where your sense of fulfillment doesn't come only from career or success or from
emotion.
financial comfort. It's more of living
Experiences.
towards something, experiences,
Emotions. They're always emotionally loaded. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but
Do you want
sometimes.
to get something off your
No,
chest?
no,
or?
no.
No, but if he does want to, have something off his chest and try to explore this topic, like, first off, we shouldn't be ashamed whether you're in 20s or in your 30s or your 40s and you're dealing and grappling with this, I guess, existential question, because we do have someone who's here to
Yes.
join us in this Kwentuhan, who is a coach, but not a sport coach. But this is a different sport. It's a mental sport. I
cool.
think it's very
It's a
important.
muscle. Brain is a muscle.
Certified executive coach who specializes in leadership and life transition, who's also a mom of 3. So let's please welcome Mara Banson Reyes.
Welcome.
Welcome, Mara.
Welcome.
How are you?
Good.
So,
Thanks
what
for
sports do
having
you
me.
do?
100% what she does can help you with sports
You know what? That's
discipline.
true.
And
Yes,
That's
actually,
true.
brain is the most important muscle in any sport.
Mental health.
Yes.
Mara, maybe you can walk us through kind of like what you do.
So I'm actually an executive coach. I coach a lot of people both in life transition, so going through some career. A lot of new moms need coaching, and also in communication, because I realize that communication is super important in your success at home and even in the office. So that's sort of what I specialize in.
You talk a lot about NLP. Can you kind of
Yes.
run us through what NLP is?
So NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and simply put, it's you understanding how your brain works so that you can get it to work for you to get whatever goal you want.
So it's like
Brain hacking.
It's like
Brain
negotiating with yourself.
Yeah. So as long as you know the patterns and how it works, you can actually make it work towards your advantage.
How can I use that for chess? I'm playing a lot.
No, I was thinking you can
I
really
actually-
become the ultimate athlete.
I know, no,
Yeah.
but now, like, another thing about me that nobody knows is I'm playing a lot of chess now.
Oh.
So how can I use, what is the...
NLP.
NLP,
NLP to play
Neuro-Linguistic
better chess.
Programming. It's more, what do you feel when you play chess? Are you stressed? Are you happy? Are you calm? What's
All
your
of that
goal?
at the same time depends on the moment.
Well, depending on the
Yes.
movements.
Yeah. So what is it that you want to change then?
I want to be able to predict the game more.
And what do you need to be able to predict the game?
More calmness.
Okay, so then NLP will probably be using how to get you calm right before the game, and then teach you tactics to stay calm, maybe as you're probably losing, or so you don't get distracted, how to stay more focused.
Oh my God, this
And
is
you can use like
amazing.
mind hacks
Right.
for it. Yeah.
I need so much from Mara.
You can have a one-on-one with me.
Yeah.
But I get your number after this.
Yeah.
For chess, pole vaulting, paddle, and high rocks.
And parenting.
family.
And
parenting.
The parenting one.
thoughts.
That's,
I
that's
actually need
important.
you so much. Okay, good.
Okay, so we're talking about actual like defining success, how we kind of navigate this new adulthood that we're all in, us constantly comparing ourselves to others because of social media and things like that. With the work that you do with either couples or with leaders or anything like that, what are some of the issues, I mean, without getting into anything too privileged, but what are some of the issues that you see coming up a lot?
So I think what's different with our generation, and I'll include myself in that, is that we don't anymore follow the same rule book of success as our parents did. So I don't know about you, but my dad, he worked the same company for over 35 years. He got a healthy retirement package, and that's defined as success back then. Now, that rule book is thrown out the window. We're not gonna do everything it takes just to climb the corporate ladder. And then second, on the way there, while we're in the middle of that corporate ladder, a lot of the people our age start to look around and say, this doesn't feel as fulfilling anymore. So the metrics of success that people used to define themselves as, it's not anymore fulfilling for us. So that's why we start to question and we're starting to look for other measures for ourselves.
Yeah, because I remember, this actually reminds me of a conversation we had post-pandemic when the girls were just born. I remember you telling me, like, because you were divesting, he was divesting from his businesses.
Yes.
And you were saying, I don't know, I need to find something I'm passionate about.
Success before was defined like professionally, and it was like, it was very clear, like, you know, grow your company, make more money, and try to help people on the way, right? But at one point that becomes a bit like empty, it's not enough. You always want to progress financially, but I think helping others is something that is really starting to feel more fulfillment. I see Erwan doing it a lot through his videos when he helps people in the province and portray people that otherwise wouldn't have a platform to be portrayed. So it's more like aligned with that. But I think for everyone it's easy to find it because it's his passion and what he does, but for other people, like me, for example, or any other, it's hard to find that point where you're doing something that you're progressing professionally, but at the same time, you feel you're doing something more. You're helping other people.
And maybe I can touch a little bit about the research around success. So a lot of people define success externally, right? So how much do you make? Where do you live? Now with parents, it's what school does your kid go to? And all these kind of like external metrics of success, right? What research has found is that similar to the journey you're going on, we need to recalibrate and look for internal metrics. And rather than like a KPI or an outcome, there are 4 things that people look for when they want to feel more fulfilled, okay? One is growth, which is I think what you're talking about, you learning new sports, new hobbies, chess. The second one is impact. So are you contributing to something bigger than yourself? And it doesn't even have to be society. It can be something like taking care of a loved one. You know how a lot of people, they take time off work, they become parents, or they take care of aging parents. The third one is relationships. Do you have deep relationships with people you care about? And then the last one is well-being. So is it sustainable? Are you not burnt out? Are you making money out of it? That's part of sustainability, right? Like, are you able to feed your family? So if you have those 4 elements, they don't have to come from the same thing. I think that's another thing that people get confused by. They're like, okay, I'm gonna quit my job because my job's not giving me X. But I actually think we're multidimensional people. Our identity doesn't have to come from one job, right? Imagine if you're a stool with one leg and you take that job away from you, like that identity goes out, you know, there are layoffs happening, you get laid off or your business goes bankrupt, then you lose who you are. So these 4 things should come from other aspects of your life. It could come from your personal relationships, it could come from your hobbies.
Yeah, I think everyone feels like you need to help a lot of people, but it's what you
No.
mentioned, it's like at least you're helping someone.
Charity begins at home, right? They say. Start with your immediate family. Because a lot of people that I talk to, when I ask them, how close are you to your brothers and sisters? Or how close are you to your parents? How often do you see them? And, you know, they kind of look up and are ashamed to admit it. And maybe you're spending more time with people who, in a couple of years, don't even care about you. And they're the people you're trying to impress.
I really feel I need to.
I really feel like,
Someone is taking notes. I really need.
Yeah.
Are you recording this?
Yeah, I could record it. I'll record it.
but
Actually, that's a good
record it
idea. I'll
and
record
then
it.
Ask
Something
Gemini
recorded
to
in my
summarize. Keep
Yeah. And that's a thing also when you're trying to chase after like goal posts, which is not a bad thing. So for example, Nico wants to help more and more people. You might also fall into the trap of that hedonic treadmill.
Exactly.
That's worrisome also. I mean, how do I find the balance? Because the hedonic treadmill is like, you reach a goal post, so you want to help like 10 people. And after that, you want to make it the goal post higher and higher. How do we not, I guess, fall into that hedonic trap? Or is that really part of life? Or
I think I would ask what's the motivation for moving the goalpost? Because a lot of the times, if the motivation, let's say, you want to be able to talk about it to others, you want others to be impressed by you, that, oh wow, Nico's helped, you know, put to school 10 people. Then you kind of want to up your game and next year be able to say, I helped 100 people, right? So it's not anymore for itself.
Yes.
And that's what should change. Because honestly, if you help one person, you have a conversation with that one person, you will feel so good. Like, I don't think it's about chasing the number for the number itself, but for having more relationships with the people that you help.
then what about it transferring it to like things you'd want to do in life, has work or is trying to build a business and stuff like that? I'm sure they want to get and move the goalpost. How can they reframe their mind to not be stuck there? Because I think eventually they'll be like burnt out. And I think that's a common thing.
Burnout is super common nowadays. And what I'm seeing is that the reason people are burnt out is because they don't actually respect their breaks. So if you think about it, burnout is like a charger that you just left charging, and then eventually it's not going to charge anymore. So for you to be burnt out, you have to like kind of like unplug. And you have to let it rest. And there are actually studies that say, when I say, okay, you're burnt out because you're not resting, I'm not saying go on a vacation and forget everything or resign from your job. No, it's actually taking small breaks, at least like 2 to 3 breaks, 10 minutes every day. And studies have proven in offices that if you do that, your productivity goes up, your feeling of fulfillment goes up, your happiness level, your satisfaction, it all goes up. So 3 to 4 10-minute breaks in a day, it's going to change how you show up for others.
And when you say breaks, this is like, is this on my phone doom scrolling through TikTok?
No.
Or is it just
Okay,
like-
yes. Good
That's
question.
a really good question. And that's what we usually take our breaks for,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
Like, can I tell you something about doom scrolling?
Yes.
It's like you have this primal urge to scan for danger. That's sort of like what we do. Whether it's you're scanning for the car accidents that are happening all around you, or you're reading the news, or you're doing social comparison because you're checking like, how am I in relation to the people around me? It's a primal urge. It's evolutionary, okay? It's hardwired in our brain to want to know where we stand. So first you need to accept that social comparison is hardwired in our brain so that you don't fight against it. And you understand that, okay, for me to feel a little bit more safe, because that's what everything evolutionary is, it's to feel safe. For me to feel safe, I do need an element of doom scrolling. I do need an element of social comparison. I can't not know how I'm doing with regards to everything else. I can't not know if there's a storm coming. I can't not know if I'm lagging behind. So it's evolutionary, right? But once we accept that, we need to not do it unconsciously and always on. Because if it's unconsciously and always on, if you can imagine back in the day of our hunter and gatherer days, it's like you're always on heightened arousal because you're forever doom scrolling. So you need to actually put a pause on that. And when you have that 10-minute break, it should be more you doing something that gives you joy. So maybe it's a nice cup of coffee, maybe it's some breathing exercises, maybe it's a nice walk, a conversation with a friend that you like, checking in on someone.
Reading,
reading. If you're passionate about learning, right?
Yeah.
That will give you a little bit of boost of a good feeling as well.
What's a way to kind of avoid constantly comparing ourselves to our peers?
The natural instinct is to feel like you're left behind, or to ask yourself, why have they been able to achieve that and I haven't? And so the question I do in my mind, it's actually a neuro-linguistic programming technique. It's called modeling. Have you heard of modeling?
She does modeling.
You model?
Backpack model. That's the one that I know.
Okay, but modeling is basically you try to ask yourself, what is the journey that they took that I can copy?
Okay.
So instead of using people as a point of jealousy or social comparison to be upset that you're lagging behind, use them as your blueprint to what you need to do to get there. So I actually often say, like, originality is overrated. Like, if you see someone doing exactly where you want to be, then copy them. Like, reverse engineer and find out what is it that they did to get there and how can I take a step closer to be that person. One of the things that I realized, at least for myself, is before that was hard to accept because you had this, especially in school, right? Like, we're all trained in this school mentality that only one person can be number one in school. If that person's already top one, you can't be top one anymore. But in life, that's not true. If you're a successful entrepreneur, you can be a successful entrepreneur. It's not limited, right? So I call that the scarcity mindset, when you feel like only one person can succeed in that field.
And I think there's also this disconnect sometimes with us personally when, okay, we want to achieve more, we want to do more, but at the same time, there's a lot of people touting simple living, mindfulness, which is a very like, from a very 100 RPM type of mental load to, let's slow it down. So how do I get into the balance of those two and still bring out my ultra self, bring out the best of me?
I used to tell this to my husband, which is be where your feet is at. So trying to be fully present where you are. And that's really hard to do. I think that the reason we're constantly like in that rat race or that hedonic treadmill is because we are not fully present where we are. And when we're fully present where we are, we appreciate things more. We can actually slow down a little bit. So I think it's that, like, be where your feet is at. And then the earlier conversation around defining success and finding those 4 sources of joy and fulfillment. If in a day you're able to achieve those, I think you're actually gonna be less anxious about the future.
How do you kind of set the bar and say, okay, what I have is enough, and now I can kind of appreciate what I have and just maybe start working on something else, or not start working on something else?
I think it's very personal, so it'll have to be you answering that for yourself. So a lot of times I ask people, what is something that you do where time passes so quickly? Like, you don't feel time passing. Like, you've heard of like getting in that state of flow.
State flow.
State flow,
Yeah, so I think that would be for me the goal.
Yeah.
If you're in a place where it's either too difficult that it's killing your confidence, then you're not in a state of flow, or it's too easy that you're bored. But for me, it's finding that right balance of that flow state. And that's when you know you're getting pulled towards the right thing. And a lot of the times it's going back to those 4 things, right? Like, are you growing? Are you feeling like you're evolving? And I think it's human nature also for us. We need to constantly feel like we're evolving.
Yeah.
So if I gave you the same job and told you to do the same mundane task, like in a factory line, again and again, you're naturally not gonna feel fulfilled because you're not growing, you're not evolving. So find pockets of places that you can continue to grow. And as I said, it doesn't always have to come from your job.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be external metrics of pay and position and title. It can come from other places, like working on a new project, having an increased scope, trying out something new, maybe even like establishing new relationships with different people in the office. Those can all be sources of evolution. And I think the question would be is like, how can I find ways to evolve?
And all of these things positively influence each other, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Yeah.
I'm learning so much
I am
today.
also
This is
like you explaining that it can come from the different parts. What reminds me of what you're saying is ikigai, essentially.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? So if I cannot find ikigai in my work, I have to change that whole work. And you're saying that it's not.
Yeah. So let's define ikigai for those who might not know it.
Yes.
So it's 4 concentric circles. If you remember like a Venn diagram. So 4 circles intersecting. And one is, what are you good at, your strengths?
Yeah.
What do you love doing, your passion? Where can you make money? And then the 4th one is, what does the world need? Or like your purpose or meaning.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think my job needs to be my ikigai.
Yeah.
And it's a constant quest. So that's why I think a lot of people resign because, they work in an office and they're like, this is not my ikigai.
Yeah.
And that makes sense for a lot of people. So what I think is, I imagine the 4 concentric circles, the intersection is not my job. It's actually my day.
Oh.
Okay.
So what am I doing in my day
I like that.
that fulfills and
Oh.
expresses all those 4? It doesn't have to be my job. And then all of a sudden, that puts less pressure on your job.
Oh, yeah.
I would even say when it comes to
Yeah.
marriage, it puts less pressure on your spouse to also fulfill all of those things, right?
Asking for a friend. How can what's an example? Like of a day.
Yeah.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, so okay.
Just so that I can take some notes.
I'll probably use my husband as an example.
Okay.
So he works a day job in
Okay.
marketing, and I think that's something he's good at and something
Okay.
he makes money out
Okay.
of. Okay. But is he 100% super passionate like about it? Some days yes, some days no. Let's be
Okay.
honest. Like every job has its more mundane operational tasks, right? But he's a super like health conscious guy. He loves this idea of competing against himself.
Okay.
So what he started pursuing was he started getting into high rocks. So he started training for high rocks and it became his goal. So he would leave the office and spend a couple of hours in the gym training for high rocks and trying to beat his personal best.
Okay.
So that became something that he really, really loved, right? And then what is something that the world needs? And again, I say, start at home. Honestly, I think he's a great dad. He's a great dad of the 3 kids. He grew up with a dad that was a little bit more traditional. So he
Yeah.
just spent all his time in the office, and that was the definition of a
Okay.
good dad. But we know that expectations are different now. You can't you just providing
Correct.
doesn't mean you're a good dad.
Yep.
You have to be 100% present. You need to make space for their feelings,
Yeah.
and really, really be a good example and spend that quality time. So I think for him, he sees parenting as his way of giving the world a little bit more of what it needs. Because by doing that, he's making people who are going to be a little bit better in the world, right? And that's starting small. Of course, I know he has other passions.
Yeah.
He mentors people in the office, so that's like him impacting a little bit
that's
more.
true, yeah.
And then, of course, if you have, let's say, additional time or resources, it could be time, volunteering, it could be money. If you can make donations and feeling like you're contributing to something bigger, that can also be it. But that's like him not getting everything from his job.
Which I think is better.
And what about with people who, I would say, less privileged, people like they're always feeling they never have time because they have to commute long hours, people who have less resources. How can they work towards the ikigai?
Ikigai.
The
It seems
ikigai?
impossible. What time do I have left when everything is already maxed out? I'm already here every single day.
I agree, and I really acknowledge that. It's really hard, like especially with traffic. You're probably in traffic for like
Yeah.
an hour and a half one way. I think it's about prioritization. So being kind to yourself and knowing, okay, how can I make the most out of my daily commute? And what's truly, truly important. I think a lot of the times we give importance to things that are what other people find important. And that fills up our day. At least for me. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes there are certain things I do. It's not because I wanted it, but because maybe I wanted to look good or I did it for somebody else. So maybe there's a recalibration that needs to happen and you can ask yourself, okay, what's really, really important? Focus on one goal at a time. And let's say I did have a daily commute of an hour and a half. Is there something I can do within that 1.5 hours that can help me bring me one step closer to that goal? But at the same time, being patient, because it's not going to come
Right away.
overnight.
Yeah.
Mara, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I think we all have a lot to think about now. I feel like, you know that 10-minute break you're talking about? I feel like I need that 10-minute break.
now.
How do we define that ultra self, like who we are as a
A
person?
lot of unfolding to new possibilities.
Yes?
Loaded.
Unfold your story. Let's go. So do you remember how I recorded the conversation with Mara earlier?
Because I need the notes.
So I have the full transcription, and then it's labeled speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3, speaker 4. It's literally the transcript of our whole conversation. After transcribing it, I was able to create a summary from it. Well, not me, but AI. So now it's summarized with headers, bullet points for everything that we talked about, and it kind of removed all the unnecessary stuff that we
He's the
talked
classmate we need.
You're talking about Gemini, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not me.
No.
So there's a lot of conversations now about AI, right? So everything that we just talked about, there's a lot of introspective work that people need to do. To do that, you need time, which is one of the reasons why I am so in love with artificial intelligence, in the sense that it can buy you a lot of time.
Makes you more efficient.
It makes you more efficient. And it's a great way to kind of keep your life in balance. We're all holding our beautiful Samsung Galaxy Fold 7s, and the AI integration, the Galaxy AI in here has been really, really great, right? This is something that even with the team and in everything that we do, we try to integrate artificial intelligence as much as possible now. Do you guys find that it's something that you're looking to implement in your daily lives more and more?
It's not a question about implementing, it's a question of how do I not be extra dependent on it, honestly.
What is the one thing that you've asked AI to do for you that while you were typing it out, you're like, this is ridiculous? Like, I could think about this answer myself, or I didn't need it for that.
I have a lot where I could have just Googled it, like Fahrenheit to Celsius. And then like,
I do that all the time.
But then I'm like, I'm talking to it na eh. So tuloy na, because I have the recipes.
My will sound a little bit stupid, but you know, I'm doing my whole math career again. So I just copy paste full formulas, and that's it completely for me when I have to take the test online. So sometimes I cheat. Yeah,
You're
on
cheating.
myself because it's just for myself. But for me, what is important is what you said: is to make you more efficient and not to make AI do things for you, but do things with you.
Yes.
Like to help you do things better.
My guilty one is I was asked to provide a bio about who I am.
Okay.
I asked AI to do it for me.
Yeah.
When I got it, it was so accurate, but it also made me think the best person to write about myself should be me.
Yeah.
Why am I asking artificial intelligence to do it? So there are right ways and there are wrong ways to obviously use it, but at the end of the day, it does make you more efficient. So we do have a guest today to kind of help us navigate all of that.
So today we got a very, very special guest, and there are very big shoes to fill after we have the Mara discussion. So let's see what he brings up.
A lot of pressure here.
His name is Jun Guevara, head of Samsung Philippines mobile business, and he's here to share his own hacks on how to use the Samsung Galaxy Fold 7.
Let's go!
Let's
Yay!
Welcome.
Hey, Jun!
Hi, Jazz. Hello again.
Mwah.
You are the only guest we stood up to say hi.
Yeah, actually, respect us.
I know.
What an honor.
Is here. The honor is ours, and it's nice to see and also have your own take on the Galaxy AI tools.
This is our quickfire segment.
I want to see your search in Instagram.
Yeah.
Bijed. I'm going to ask my fellow hosts to also do this.
Upa.
What is the oldest notification that remains unopened on your phone right now? I see a lot of
There's a
notifications. What are you talking about?
So I do get a lot of messages throughout the day, Viber or Messenger, or WhatsApp.
How about a last selfie that you took?
Would a groupie count?
Yes, that counts.
The goofy count? Okay, let me.
It has to be the last one, though.
That's me.
Very safe.
There we
Yeah,
go.
very,
Look
nah,
at
very
that.
nice. Okay,
My
okay. That's your
wife and
family.
son. Yeah, we were
Okay, good,
having
good.
a ramen date yesterday in Molito.
In Molito, you did it?
No, 'cause we went to our favorite restaurant. It's called Chingolo.
Yeah.
What is the last thing that you use Gemini for?
This one is fun. My wife and I just found out about a Gemini feature called Storybook. Have you heard about that?
No.
So we have a 4-year-old. She's really into Disney. She's also into like Bluey. You can use Gemini and then use the Storybook function. It creates these picture books for you. We gave it like the photos of our kids, and then we input the quick like topic, the art style that you'd like.
This is the parent heart.
Yes, it
And it actually writes a story.
is. Yeah, then you could go on like voice function.
I'm trying that tonight.
Can they have it in different languages?
amazing.
I was gonna ask you.
Because they have to teach. You have to teach in different languages.
I think what you can do with Gemini is you could tell it to do it in like a different language if you'd like.
So wait, how do you prompt this?
If you quickly go on Gemini, nice, huh? Good hack, huh?
Yes.
Amazing. My
Go
wife is
ads.
gonna be like, you are a superstar.
Yeah.
Don't tell our
Super
wife
parent.
about this.
That's me.
All right.
This is a dad thing, okay?
Yes, yes,
Dad,
yes,
don't,
yes, yes.
Yeah,
show the
don't
wife.
give this power
if
to
you
the
get
mom.
on, if you get on Gemini, up here you can go Storybook. Now, Gemini has a bunch of other stuff too. So you get Storybook, you get like this career advice thing. It's pretty cool.
Hey, you-
And then you can prompt it the way you would normally prompt Gemini.
Like my daughter doesn't like to go to school. Please create a story.
Please create a story, yeah, I think so.
Encourage her to
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
Yes.
school. This is a picture of her. Okay. This is what I'm talking about using AI with you.
Correct.
AI is not doing the parenting for you. It's helping to be a better parent.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, so talk about these kind of hacks. What are some of the other gems that you found that are really kind of special and that really can help you either in that sense, like to create a special experience with a family member, or just to kind of make your workday a bit more efficient, easier?
I can start with my workday. Obviously, I mean, when you start your day, that's incredibly important to how you set the tone for the rest of the day. See if I have any meetings that day. If I need to be in the office extra early, I would go and check on Google Maps or Waze and check the traffic situation, see how much time I have to prepare, and then I'd maybe check any messages I missed, and then I'd get on my day. Nowadays, I just open up my phone. I have the Now Brief. It shows me any meetings I might have throughout the day. It immediately shows me the best route to get to the office and how long it'll take. It will even show me the weather. Before, what I would do is I would open all of these up separately. And now having everything on one page, on one app, it really kickstarts your day, I think, in a more effective manner.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your mindset has been primed to be in like productivity mode.
You kind of feel like a boss, actually.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
you have an assistant.
your like little assistant's been telling you like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
boss, this.
It learns about you the more you use it and which apps you use.
Yeah, we talk a lot about effective and productive and multitasking. Like this is what we are constantly mentioning and looking for. But can you give us a specific scenario where we can be actually more time efficient with the Galaxy?
Usually when you have the Fold, multitasking is the first thing that people think of because of the huge screen, using the multi-window or the split screen function. But personally, my most favorite features that I've gotten in terms of multitasking is the ability to use Gemini Live to perform different actions across different Google or Samsung apps. One specific example, a few weeks ago, I was on my way to a workshop. I was driving and I had to give the opening remarks. I didn't just want to set the tone, I also wanted to talk about how we build open communication and collaboration, being open also to direct feedback. So I had all of those thoughts in my head. It wasn't as organized as it was then. So while I was driving, I was essentially talking to Gemini Live as like my copywriter or my coach, right? Going back and forth saying that, okay, I'm about to speak to 100 professionals and it's a mix of tenured individuals and those that are new. I want to like open up the team building, but at the same time, like drive home this point. What can I do? And it would come back with suggestions, opening remarks, and I would refine it, and it would go back and forth and back and forth. And I'm doing this while driving.
Can you tell it to do multiple things? You can, right? You can say, find a restaurant,
Yes.
find the fastest way there, and send an email
Yes.
to like Nico.
Yeah, through all of those different apps.
But what are some of the fun things that you've seen people use Gemini Live for?
I'll go ahead, but I'd like to hear what you guys have done too.
I love asking Gemini Live to like roast me.
Oh.
I'm gonna go live, and then I'm gonna share my screen. Hi, Gemini, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And I can see you've opened your camera. How can I help you today?
What do you see on my camera?
You're recording me, man.
I see you sitting in a chair, holding your phone, and recording with your camera.
Okay.
What can I do for you?
What do you think about my outfit?
Your outfit looks great. The blue shirt complements your blue shoes, and the khaki pants tie it all together nicely.
Yeah, I'm trying to go for like a smart casual look because I'm attending a podcast. Do you really think that my shoes match my outfit? And could my hair be styled any better?
I agree that your outfit has a smart casual vibe, and the blue shoes do add a nice pop of color. As for your hair, it looks good as it is, but if you're going for a more polished look, you could try adding some product for a bit more hold and definition.
It's okay. She was kind. She was kind.
I think Gemini is probably one of the, there probably are some guardrails, but Gemini is usually quite nice.
Polite.
Yes, they are.
It has to
incredibly.
be.
What's a camera trick that you think that people will only find out after using the phone for a little bit?
Well, the first thing that everyone notices is the 200 megapixel the zoom. I do see some people already using it also as a concert phone, similar to the S25 Ultra. One thing that actually seems basic, and it's been there for a while, but not everyone knows about, is that you can capture, take photos or even record videos using your voice. So it's not just the palm feature. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
What do I say?
I always say this.
You can say you can say cheese. You can say
okay,
fake
cheese,
photo.
yeah, but for video,
For
I
video,
still the
no,
same.
you say record video.
One thing I've realized is that the Z Fold 7 is incrementally lighter than the previous iteration. What are kind of the main hardware changes?
Well, I think the first thing most people notice is the design,
Yeah.
like how incredibly light and thin the Z Fold 7 is. It's thinner and lighter than even some of the other bar phones that we do have. Second thing is we fixed the dimension, so when it's closed, it feels more like a bar phone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
To you
Thank
guys.
you for the biggest parent hack ever.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna try
Ever.
that today. Jun, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
I think it was a very full episode.
Very
Yeah.
honest.
Very honest episode.
Honest.
There was a little bit of psychology in there, a little bit of artificial intelligence, and a lot of insecurity.
But a lot of unfolding to new possibilities.
Yes.
New ways of discovering ourselves, and hopefully you guys watching as well and listening.
So we hope this episode helped you in ultra ways.
This was Unfold Your Story, a video podcast by Samsung. And to everyone out there, stay ultra, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.